Hello, good morning. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Oral Lens Podcast. Today I'm with Mdu. Hello.
Hey, how's it, everyone? Do the Ceramist, that's me.
How are you doing today?
Oh, can't complain, just have a bit of a headache, but yeah, I'm chuffed up to be having this interview.
Yeah, I'm also chuffed to have this interview. I once saw you speaking on Twitter, and then I was like, yo, this guy seems like he has such a cool story. So, yeah, please tell me about yourself and all of this, what's happening here.
Yeah, the Twitter thing, everybody sees me on Twitter. The thing is, I'm a ceramist. My dad is a potter. He's been doing pottery for some time, and pottery took us to school. And then I started in 2010. I came to Hammanskraal. And then I started in a small center where I was teaching gogos how to make your calabashes and stuff like that. And then I moved to a skill center where I was training young people on ceramic manufacturing. And then late 2016, 2017, that's when I moved into this factory. And then I've been here ever since. And then 2018, 2019, roundabout, the factory went through a refurbishment, and then COVID happened, and then now we have this issue with the whole electricity reconnection because Eskom, well, they want the landlords to be paying the money that was owned by the previous people that were here, so that the people that were here were paying the landlords. So now Eskom wants those areas before they can open up a new account. So we're just waiting for them to finalize that process and pay Eskom what is due to them, and then we can start operating because we have close to 80 people sitting at home waiting to come and work.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So you say your dad was a ceramist or
A potter, yeah.
And then you probably started learning while you were still a child from him.
Yeah, I learned at a very young age. Yeah. Yeah.
What else did you enjoy doing when you were growing up?
Yeah, I was more into music production. I was more into, entertainment. That was my other field. That's why I had another small company called Play Entertainment. And then besides ceramics, I enjoyed the DJing part, the producing, discovering new guys, talking to promoters to give other upcoming artists opportunities. Yeah, and then after high school, I did audio and visual production. And then from there on, then didn't work out well as I thought it would. Then I definitely went into the ceramic route.
Yeah, and then you started teaching people how to do it, and then you also probably developed your skills.
Yeah, in the process of teaching, I've realized that you also learn a lot. Sometimes you teach people things that you're discovering at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but you don't want to show that you are discovering it at the same time with them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, then how did you acquire such a big factory? Because this is very big.
Yeah, the factory was actually, it was starting to be vandalized. They were breaking in, cables were stolen. So I spoke to the landlords, which is NWDC, to say that I'm interested in the factory to rent it out, and then brought in the equipment and everything. I have the machinery, so the working space is sufficient for me. So I came here 2016, 17. Then I started being productive, but this factory was in a very, very bad state.
Yeah.
You see it now, you think, wow, this looks good. It was very, very, people were even scared to come in because the roof was falling off. You could see the sun, So I got here, and then the GTI and DBSA decided, no, since you are in an industrial manufacturer, let's help you fix the factory with NWDC. And then they did that. But in the whole process, they forgot that they need to re-establish reconnections with Eskom because we're going to need more power, close to 1 MV for the whole factory, which is 14,000 squares.
Sure. Yeah. So, how do you manage the people, the factory, the cost, the expenses, such things?
I have a good team. Since I've been here, on my Twitter thing, posting every time on Twitter, and then Mr. Kandan saw that, and then he became quite interested, and then he said, no, let's go into a partnership. Let's raise some capital for you so that you can do other things, buy bulk raw materials, keep your people, be able to pay your guys. Because at the time, I think I had about 35 people working here at the factory. So in ceramics, it's quite, how can I put it? It's not that expensive in terms of raw material and manufacturing, as long as you've got people that know what they're doing. The only most expenses is the energy consumption, buying bulk raw materials and salaries as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then you have a team that helps you manage all of that.
Yeah, at Afriport, we do have a team. I sit at the board of directors with Mr. Msibi and other board members. And then we recently had appoint a factory manager for ourselves to look after the day-to-day running of the factory. So the whole team is, I'd say that I have a very good team here. Very, very good team here.
Yeah, and then how do you come about choosing people to join your team? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a case of interest. It's not, I wouldn't say, it's like people who want to come and work here. There's specific sections of the factory that will require you to have certain qualifications, like the lab. You need to obviously to know your sciences, and you need to have that chemical background and the engineering backgrounds and all these other backgrounds. But your day-to-day, making products, holding and moving stuff and firing, anyone with a grade 11, grade 12, as long as you are enthusiastic and a hard worker, you come in, you do skills transfer, you learn how to do this. In a year's time, you'd probably have mastered one section of the factory.
Yeah. I know, that's great stuff. Cool. Yeah. You, tell me what's the most difficult thing that you've had to endure? Was it probably COVID?
Yeah, COVID played a very huge role in terms of the way things were supposed to go about, because one of the delays was because of the shortage of steel material and all these other raw materials we were supposed to get from overseas. So when COVID happened, it delayed so many things. I mean, the factory couldn't be finished because the steels couldn't be, imported into the country. So we had to wait and for a lot of things. That was quite a difficult period. And remember, I already had placed people at home, and some of them were like my highly skilled people. So I also had to look out for them during that whole lockdown period to make sure that they have something to eat. They are taking care of them, even though that the factory is not being productive, not making any income. Yeah.
Yeah, capital management.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Indeed.
What has been your proudest moment so far in the business?
There's a lot. I'd say that this factory, having this equipment, because with the equipment I have here, there's a potential of making close to 15,000 pieces a day. So that's quite significant. I mean, that would mean we could play a very big role in the SADC region in terms of ceramic manufacturing. I mean, in the country currently, we're probably, with the state of us being not productive, we can say that, but we are number 2. We are the second largest ceramic manufacturer in the SADC region. Yeah.
That's
the biggest
crazy.
one, it's continental something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how difficult was it to get into the market to sell your products, to get people to love them?
It's weird that I didn't have to force people to buy my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, people just fell they fell in love with what we were producing. I think one of the most important things is that with us in South Africa, we get most ceramics from China.
Yeah.
So China usually has a specific type of design and type of glazing that they do. And most people that buy from there usually buy the oven. Like you buy the oven, and then whatever comes out of that oven, then it's yours. You don't necessarily, whether it's second grade or third grade, it's yours. They export it to you like that. So here with us, you have a choice. You can even design your product. You can have a mug in your head, and you can bring it here. You sit with the design team, and they do it for you in a 3 days or in a week's time. We have to do the molding for the mug. In a week's time, you'll have your prototype of your mug, the colors that you want. We do any color that you can think of under the rain. Yeah.
I know, that's great. So if people have ideas, they can reach out to you.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would manufacture for anybody that's willing to buy from us, and buy in bulk and retail or resell, direct selling, either way, as long as everyone can be happy and everyone could have a source of income, because you can see anyone else.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, who do they reach out to you, or which person in the team?
No, for now they can reach out to me, to Duzi, my Twitter handle, Ceramist. I think that would be like the most important portal where you can find me. We can talk from there, and then I can give you my contacts, and then we can take the discussion from there. And once you've done that, and then I'll refer you to the most relevant people that you can continue talking to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if we wanna buy the products in the store, how will we see them, or do they have branding? Yeah.
You'll be able to differentiate our products from any other product in the market in terms of the colors, in terms of the designs, because most of the products we have in the factory are original, our products, our designs, and also our brand name, AfriPot Deco, which is African pottery and deco, will stand out. It will talk to you. It's a modern African, young person who has a flat, or someone who's moving into a new house. Modern Africans, doing it for themselves. The movers and shakers. You want to drink with coffee.
Yeah.
Like most successful people, they like coffee. So drinking coffee from something that was homemade, and then it represents you from the townships as well. It's something to be proud of. So you'll be able to distinguish our products from many products in the market. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And yeah, I enjoy that you're pushing this African stories, because we have to purchase from African local made stuff.
Yeah. We have to be proud of all this stuff. It's time that in terms of fashion, in terms of entertainment, art, it's time that, Europeans and all these other nationalities, they took our stuff. Would you believe that Picasso became famous from copying African masks and then sold one painting for millions? That's something that people in Gabon and Burundi were doing naturally when they're having festivals. And then we need to take those things and be proud of, instead of being in a museum somewhere in France or somewhere in another country where Africans, they pay to go to France to go see their own stuff that their ancestors made in Africa, which is crazy.
Yeah. So who are the people that you are inspired by, like your role models?
Jeez. I'm inspired by my father first.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by a lot of people. I'm inspired by, your Skinny Spoo, your Sap or Jeans, your Elliot, the art, a lot of people. There's a different element that I take from every individual. Mr. Kandani Msibi, his enthusiasm, his push and his drive to see South Africa being reindustrialized. I take from that and I become inspired every time I think of them. And it's things that keep me motivated to continue with, because it's hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. No, it's very, very hard. Got to be prepared for the hard times. But with inspiration and a clear vision of what you want, and talking to the right people, seeing the right people, you most definitely would make it. It's not hard to make it. It's hard going to make it. Yeah. Going there, it's hard, but being there, doing it, you do it. There's no other option but to do it.
Because I saw when I was coming here, there's some places that are done, they're not being checked, there's grass growing everywhere, stuff like that. And people have stopped trying to industrialize and they just import from China.
Yeah.
So how are you still having that energy to fight and want to produce local?
Because look, the next frontier, to be honest, is Africa, right?
Yeah.
Africa is the biggest market now. They have the biggest consumer. We have the raw materials. We might be having these leadership crisis and issues, energy issues. But in terms of raw material, we have the labor, we are in the center, we could export to any side of the globe. I mean, when you look at it, it's motivation enough to say, but if we can pull together, and we could be like, we can be in the top three of the most, promising or upcoming continents. I don't know how to put it. Yeah, but we could be in the top three. We can compete with the largest in the world if we could, because we have industrials in South Africa. You know that we used to make our own weapons back in the days.
Yeah.
This industrial Babelech used to employ close to 25 to 40,000 people. Today, you probably have like less than 3,000 people working here. So now, those things, what made those people back then be able to give the people jobs, and then we are failing? What is it that we are failing? Because we have technology today, we have access to the raw material, we have access to the capital. It's not like our parents back then where it was quite hard. It's hard for us today, yes, to get a loan from a bank, but we have more capital to pull together to do stuff for ourselves. I mean, that's for me. I mean, when I also look at my next door neighbor, they're from China. They do plastic recycling and stuff. There's a lot of Chinese factories that are booming. Why would they move so far away and come establish factories here while we just vandalizing, taking the roof sheets, cutting cables, and leaving everything as it is? Because it's dilapidated. Most of these factories probably you've seen, it's going to take years for them to be revived unless the government puts money into reviving these industrial sites if they're serious about job creation.
Yeah. So how do you make sure that your factory is so clean and that it's secure? Because those are the problems that South Africa faces.
Yeah. No, the security company I have a security company, and then I have guys that live on site to take care of the equipment, because we don't want to lose this machinery, because it's going to be hard for us to get other machines, because it's going to cost us hundreds of millions. We won't get these same exact machines.
Yeah.
So my guys, they take care of the factory every day. They look after it. Even though the grass outside is growing a bit, that was supposed to be done by the landlord, because now we are waiting for the handover. Once they say no, you can start, you can bring your employees, then you can start operating. But for now, we're making sure that everything is taken care of. We do have issues of break-ins, vandalisms, but it's not as bad as other factories because of the security that we have on site.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then when everything is running and it's a normal day-to-day operations, how do things look? What's happening around the factory?
Yeah, no, that's when there's a lot of movement. I wish next time we should come and we sit like this again, but when there's movement, so you could see. I mean, this factory alone takes about 40 people. This one, 40, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so there's a lot of movement. Trolleys, I mean, for people to handle 14,000 pieces a day, that means you need a lot of hands, a lot of movement, and on a daily basis, we have to pump out finished products, because we pump about, we pump about 6 tons of clay a day.
Yeah, 6 tons,
That's 6 tons a day. That machine has to pump twice, because it's 3.2 kg, which is 3.2 tons. So we pump about twice a day with that filter press.
Okay, so the clay comes in and then you pump it out?
Yeah, we pump it. Yeah, it becomes slurry, like slip, and then it becomes liquid, and it goes into the machine, and the machine removes the water from the clay, and it becomes hardened. Then it goes into this machine behind us here, which is the vacuum pump, the pug mill, and then they throw the clay there on top where it's close to the plastic. And then once it comes out on the other side, then it's vacuum, there's no air, the moisture is perfect and everything, and then it goes to the production lines. And then one presses about 1,000 pieces a day.
Yeah, I know. And then you started obviously at a smaller scale.
Yeah, from this year. But I've always had the passion and the love for it, the knowledge. Because forming something, with ceramics, the one thing I enjoy is because I get to use all elements, your earth, wind, water. If one is missing, I can't be productive. Like now, I'm missing fire. So
Yes.
that's why
You can.
I can't finish products. I have so many orders waiting. People from as far as Namibia, Mozambique, Taiwan, and all these places looking to buy like African-made products that represent Africa. But because I don't have the element of fire, I can't give them a finished product. I can form the product, the shape and everything. But if I can't fire it, it can't harden. And then I can't glaze it for it to have that glass and vitrify it so that it doesn't absorb moisture, so it lasts longer. So I don't have the element of fire. I have all the other elements. But even if I do have fire and I miss water,
Yeah.
then I still can't do anything. I need all the elements
You need
to work,
everything to work together.
work together. Sure.
Yeah. And then how do you maintain like customer relations when you cannot give them what they ordered?
Yeah, one thing that most of my customers are very, I don't know, how can I say, they're very understanding, but they sometimes know that, in terms of orders, there might be delays because of the delays with the raw material we've got. Sometimes you get a scrap, then when it becomes a third grade product, which you can give to a person that has paid their full amount of money for a third grade product. So the delays is only in the production output. There's sometimes like delays in the production output. But for the shape and the color of the product, that one is guaranteed that you'll get your shape and you'll get your color. But the production output, the delays are there. Even now, because of load shedding, even if we were operational, the load shedding will still affect how long one will get their order. Yeah, and the size of the order. Because other people, they order like um, 2 trucks and 3 trucks. They're expecting them, weekly to deliver. And then you have to deal with other customers. Other customers are hard-headed. They want a specific product for themselves only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes a challenge because you find that you order 100, right? I can't make 100 exactly. I have to make 110. So that if that 100, there might be defects in 5 or 10. I have others that I can sample and then I can put in and then, but the rest that remains behind, then what do I do with it as a business person? Then I have to find a way to sell it because I can't keep it here for you. You only wanted 100.
Yeah.
And I can't make 100 exactly. You see, I can't run you short. You have to find exactly your 100. But what if I make 110 and all your 100 comes out perfectly? What do I do with that 10? You see, those are the other challenges that I've been having. But we found ways around it to work around it. As long as you want your brand on a product, then I can't sell your brand to anybody else. No, your Le Creuset, I can't put your name and say no, that would be impossible. So we'd have to have some sort of an agreement, some off-take agreements and all those type of things to say the stuff left behind, I'm putting it aside. Do you guarantee that you'll come take them? Because if not, then I'll have my shop open because we have a factory shop and then I'll sell them in the shop. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, like in your future plans, what are you looking forward to do to grow the business to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at probably 3 years from now opening up another factory, which probably bigger than this one. Yeah, 30, 35 squares, something like that. Probably looking at 200, 300 employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the same tableware. And then I'm also looking at opening up another 2 factories in the sanitary ware business, which is your baths, your toilets. And then I'm also looking into going into making cheaper tiles. I'm talking to a counterpart of mine is based in China. They're looking at recycling old ceramics to crush them. So they're just waiting to finalize the bonding solution so that we can make cheaper tiles from all your cracked mugs and stuff like that. We rework them and then we produce tiles that anybody can afford. Anyone who's building maybe a 2 room. It's easy access, easy tiles, but still going through the same process of it being a ceramic tile and then it being gloss if you want gloss and being matte if you want it to be matte. So those are the industries that out in the next 5 years I'd be happy if I could see two of those factories operate. The sanitary ware factory and the tile factory.
I know that's really great and inspiring. How do you sleep at night when you have so many things?
Yeah, insomnia is my friend.
Yeah, you think too much.
Yeah, so much insomnia kicks in. But it doesn't bother me much because sometimes I sleep next to my bed with a diary, mm, with my pen, and I'll just jot down. Once it's out, then
Yeah.
it becomes easier to sleep. Because once you still have it, you're thinking about it, and then it becomes difficult. But yeah,
I know. And then when you jot down like a roadmap to get there, or just the idea.
I usually do the idea, and then I'll figure it as I go along. If I can
Yeah.
take the first step, then I will figure it as I go. But I know the final destination needs to be this vision that I see, that we're looking at a tile factory that could make about 50,000 square meters of tiles a day. You need to figure out the machinery, the raw materials, and all for you to reach that 25,000 square meters of factories a day. You need to understand your machinery, your production outputs, all these things. People, I mean, labor is quite important in ceramics. You need people that know what is it that they're doing, because once it's fired, it can't go back.
Yeah.
It can't go back. So you need people who will handle the product, and then once it comes out of the killing, on the other side, it's a first grade product.
Yeah, I know, that's beautiful. And then if you were to look at your life, man, like compare yourself to friends you had in high school,
Yeah.
like what made you actually take the action compared to them? Because everyone had big dreams, but not a lot of them got to live them out. What is it that you do that's like different?
Luckily, me and a group of my friends, friends that I've been friends with since high school, we're still friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually doing what they were planning on doing since high school. I mean, Tonic is now working one of the biggest audio and visual production companies. Mzansi is actually, he works from home, no longer needs to go to work. He does the stuff at home. They just send him edits, he does the sound. All these guys are just, I think from us, because we started the whole entertainment company at a very young age.
Yeah.
And then we had financial issues in terms of going to varsity when we finished matric. So we had to come up with a plan on how do we capitalize on the ideas we have, the talents that we have. And then we found ways around it, DJing at clubs, hosting events, and then people grew into loving the style and the stuff that we were doing, and then that motivated us to actually grow from there and say, guys, whatever it is that you're thinking about, you're dreaming about, it's pointless to say you're dreaming about it. Let's just push and make these things a reality, because of the background. I mean, we know that we had to sacrifice a lot of our youth in order to make sure that we support and sustain some of our families, some ourselves, to buy a shoe, you need to wake up every morning and do something that you can have the money to go buy that shoes that you want. So we kept that thing, that fire, that thing, it keeps us going until now, and it hasn't died out. It continues motivating us to even get bigger and better at what we want to achieve.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. That's I've learned a lot from you today, and I'm respecting you even more because
No, thank you
great
for
story.
coming. Thank you for.
Thank you.
It's been a while. You've always wanted to see the factory, so now you've seen it.
Yeah.
So I hope you're not as surprised as everyone. It's a bit smaller than I usually make it out to be.
Yeah, this is very big. Yeah.
So.
Sure. Any last words you wanna say to inspire the youth? Yeah.
Bafethu asipusheni asibona asipusheni iMzansi yasidinga, not just for ourselves but those that are coming behind us. Sinengane abanye, we have families, we have talent in Mzansi. If we don't do it for ourselves, we're still waiting for Jesus to come back. He will save us, but at the moment God is willing to save those that want to save themselves.
Yeah. I know. Thank you. Sure.